Hashtags are popular on the internet to communicate a message. People use the hashtag symbol before a keyword or phrase to connect social media content to a topic. The hashtag for this tutorial is Begin at the End. Developing learning outcomes that align with the learning activities and assessments in a course is integral to promote the academic success of students. In this tutorial, we will examine the backward design process. After reviewing this tutorial, you will be able to define the backward design process, describe the 3 stages of the backward design process, and compose an observable learning outcome for a new or existing course. Wiggins and Mattig describe backward design as a method of designing educational curriculum by setting goals before choosing instructional methods and forms of assessment. In other words, faculty should approach every course by focusing on what they want students to learn before how they plan to teach the content. The backward design process minimizes questions that students often pose, such as why are we learning this? And what does this have to do with my career? Backward design fosters intentionality that guides instruction and assessment. Sanders observes that the primary purpose of college isn't learning a specific set of professional skills. The primary purpose of college is to become a learner. By adhering to backward design, faculty can help every student become a learner. The backward design process includes 3 stages: identify desired results, determine acceptable evidence, and plan learning experiences and instruction. It is important to remember that the context of this process encompasses each department, program, and course. To examine the context for the process, first consider your audience. The audience includes characteristics such as the demographics and classification of the students in the course. The learning outcomes will differ between an undergraduate and graduate level course. Also, the desired results for a prerequisite course will differ from an introductory course. Next, the course delivery method impacts context. Factors that will impact the sequencing of materials include holidays, school closures, and course duration. And last, course objectives should align with the institutional and program objectives. If a state or national board exam is required, objectives should prepare students for the certification requirements. When developing learning outcomes, focus on what students will know and do, not what the instructor will do. As facilitators of learning, learning outcomes should be learner-centered. Imagine what you want your students to know and to be able to do 3 to 5 years after the course. Bloom's Taxonomy of Learning is a great resource to identify descriptive action verbs to help students transition from surface to deeper cognitive development. It is important to avoid vague terms like understand or know when crafting learning outcomes. Course assessments must align with the learning outcomes. If a learning outcome is to describe, a multiple choice assessment does not align with this learning outcome. Alignment eliminates frustration between the student and instructor. Rubrics are helpful to measure learning outcomes. Formative assessments during a class or before the end of the unit, or a summative assessment at the end of a unit, such as a final project or report, are measurable ways to assess how students are progressing toward the learning outcome. Properly aligned assessments help measure the level of performance and target instructional activities towards the level of the learner. It is important to note that assessments are not limited to exams and tests. Forms of assessment are plentiful, including reflections, group projects, and case studies. When designing a curriculum, Active learning strategies are imperative. During this stage of the design process, consider the following. How will you teach the content to guide learners toward learning outcomes? What activities will help students demonstrate knowledge and skills to achieve the learning outcomes? What resources and materials are best suited to accomplish these goals? If you are wondering, why should I change what I have been doing? Remember the acronym FITS. Backward design fosters intentionality. Every assignment, lecture, and activity is intentional and purposeful. Backward design improves efficiency. Students are not assigned busy work that does not align with the intended learning outcomes. Backward design translates to practical application. Students can connect the course content to current events. Students can see how the content applies in the community and their desired career field. Backward design develops problem solvers. Students can think critically and apply the skills learned as they matriculate through their subsequent courses and ultimately into their professions after the course. In this tutorial, we have examined backward design as a process of creating alignment between learning outcomes, assessment practices, and learning activities. The 3 stages of the backward design process capture the importance of intentional efforts to prepare courses to engage students in becoming active learners. By adhering to this process, faculty can contribute to the academic success of students that not only impacts their course performance, but career development. As you prepare to design your next course, remember to begin at the end. Subscribe to the Center for Innovative and Transformative Instruction YouTube channel for more instructional videos.